Let's start our new chapter, Comparisons.
Welcome to English Grammar Spot. This lesson is about comparisons. Look at these sentences. That man is old. That man is older than me. That man is the oldest man I know. The second and the third sentence are what we call comparisons. The second sentence is a comparative and the third sentence is a superlative. I'll explain more about these two terms later on in the video. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to make comparisons with adjectives, the exceptions, so the irregular forms, comparisons with adverbs, and obviously the exceptions there, a construction that we call as, and when to use as or like. Now let's get started. What is a comparative? A comparative compares two things, usually in combination with the word than. My sister is taller than me. The superlative compares three or more things, usually in combination with the. She's the tallest of them all. So where the comparative only compared me and my sister, with the superlative, my sister is compared to everyone, and we have concluded that she's the tallest. How to form comparisons? When it concerns one-syllable adjectives such as old, young and quick, we simply add er to the adjective for the comparative and est to the adjective for the superlative. So we have the adjective old, and the comparative is older, and the superlative is oldest. The same goes for young, younger, youngest, and quick, quicker, quickest. I'm going to show you some examples in sentences. For example, my grandfather is old, my grandmother is older than him, but their neighbour is the oldest person alive. So, my grandfather is old. Here, old is an adjective because it says something about the noun, my grandfather. Then, when we compare my grandfather to my grandmother, we must conclude that my grandmother is older. So, here we use a comparative. But when we compare their neighbour to my grandmother and grandfather, or more, when we compare the neighbour of my grandmother and grandfather to the rest of the world, we must conclude that he is the oldest, so the superlative form. I am young, my brother is younger than me, but my sister is the youngest in our family. A lion is quick, a leopard is quicker, but a cheetah is the quickest of felines. Now please note, one-syllable adjectives that end in an E, such as safe, we only add an R or ST. Safe, safer, safest. Now it is a little bit trickier when it comes to two-syllable adjectives. When the stress is on the second syllable, we add ER or EST to the adjective. For example, quiet, quieter, quietest. The stress in quiet is on the final syllable quiet. So we add ER and EST. Quiet, quieter, quietest. Yet when the stress is on the first syllable, we put more in front of the comparative and most in front of the superlative. So we don't use ER or EST. For example, silent, more silent, most silent. Please note that the stress in silent is on the first syllable. Adjectives with three syllables or more just simply put more or most before the adjective. So more for the comparative and most for the superlative. London is beautiful, yet I consider Venice more beautiful, and in my opinion, Paris is the most beautiful city in the world. Now obviously there are some exceptions. First, the words that we call leersomer we. These are adjectives that end in the letters above and that contain 2 or more syllables with a stress on the second syllable. With these words, we also add ER or EST. Little, littler, littlest. Clever, cleverer, cleverest. Handsome, handsomer, handsomest. Narrow, narrower, narrowest. And happy, happier, happiest. And please note that the Y has become an I. The general exceptions are good, better, best, bad, worse, worst, much, or many, more and most, and far, further, furthest. These are the most common ones, and it is advisable that you just simply study them because there's no rule to follow here. And please note that bad, badder, baddest is incorrect.
Students, watch the video carefully and read the lesson thoroughly. Thank you.